A very good afternoon and welcome to the home of the double winning Celtic for this Legends match between Celtic Legends and Dortmund Legends. This will be an entertaining and probably humorous game of football, but of course we're here for a good cause, and that is to raise money for Celtic FC Foundation. Kick-off in this one will be in around 15 minutes time. Thanks for your company. Just shy of 30,000 will be inside Celtic Park for this one to welcome the Legends of Dortmund, but probably they'll be more excited to see the Legends of Celtic. We have plenty Celtic Legends, of course. Paul Curry alongside me. I'm not sure we put you up there in the Celtic Legend category. Celtic great, probably, Paul, but how much are you looking forward to this occasion? It's been quite a season, hasn't it?
Well, I have to say to you, Jerry, that before we came on air, there was like a stream of young Celtic fans that were wanting selfies with me and not you. I've no idea who they think I am, but probably people later will be saying, look, I get my picture taken with Stevie Woods. But no, listen, it's been last weekend was wonderful on the Saturday and Sunday here, and yesterday was just incredible, and I had quite a low-key celebration, and I'm just hoping that the Celtic squad this afternoon were similarly low-key. I'm sure they're looking forward to the game. I think Dortmund, they have a team that play quite regularly, so I think they'll be taking it seriously. But I think you mentioned it's all about raising money and raising awareness for the foundation, and I think especially when you think of the weather this afternoon at Celtic Park, to get a crowd of 30,000 in for a game like this, I think it just says everything about our supporters. It
does indeed. Let's have a look then at the list of legends that are going to be playing in this one this afternoon. You can see them warming up on the pitch at the moment, but there you go, there's the starting 11 and the substitutes in the Celtic squad, which will be managed of course by Paul Lambert, a hero of both Celtic and Dortmund. The great Artur Boruc in goal. You've got Mikael Lustig, Efe Ambrose, Stilian Petrov, Stephen McManus, Emilio Izagirre, Scott Brown, Joe Ledley, Sean Maloney, Georgios Samaras and Gary Hooper, all in their prime. That would be quite a team. On the bench, substitute goalkeeper Michael McGovern, Darren O'Dea, Charlie Mulgrew, Barry Robson, Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink, and Celtic TV's very own Simon Donnelly is the, he won't like me saying this, but he's the daddy of the bunch. Apart from Paul Lambert, Simon takes the average age up a couple of years.
He did. I think the last thing he said to us last weekend was, be kind to me.
Yeah. Well, let's see how he plays. Those are the Celtic Legends then. Let's have a look at the Dortmund Legends. Of course, if you know Dortmund's history, you'll know that they have two particular years they look back on fondly. Of course, 1997, when they won the Champions League, famously 3-1 against Juventus. Of course, Paul Lambert played in that game. So did Jörg Heinrich, their coach, this afternoon. Apart from that, the majority of the team, well, around half of the squad is made up of Champions League runners-up from their defeat at Wembley when Jurgen Klopp managed Dortmund in 2013. So those are your Dortmund legends that will be lining up this afternoon.
You can see the applause for Artur Boruc. You know, so popular when he was here, obviously, and I think a lot of people delighted to see him back here this afternoon, and I think he's delighted to be here as well.
He is indeed, the holy goalie. And we're just waiting for those two trophies that you just had a look at to be brought out through the Guard of Honour. Of course, Celtic men's team champions. And then after that incredible late drama at Hampden yesterday when Adam Ida popped up to score the biggest goal of his career so far, and the winning goal in the Glasgow Derby Cup final to crown Celtic double winners. We have both trophies back in our possession here at Celtic Park, and they will be getting brought out and presented to the fans once more before this Legends game gets underway at the top of the hour. So looking at some of the ages of these players, the most youthful player in the squad appears to be Efe Ambrose at the sprightly young age of 35.
Do you know, I was watching the players when they were coming off there, Jerry, and some of them look, likes of Effie, Charlie Mulgrew,
Gary Hooper,
Michael Lustig, Gary Hooper, still look as if well, obviously Gary Hooper's still playing. I think he's still, when I spoke to him, he actually would like one more season as a professional. I'm not sure if they're taking any odds on that he'll end up in Bucharest in the next few weeks with Neil Lennon. But there's, you know, Michael Lustig looks as if he could, you know, looks still as trim as ever. So he obviously came on with the trophy before the game at Hampden yesterday. And I think once the players were signed up, you know, speaking to some of them, they suddenly thought we better get into a bit of shape and you know, train a wee bit for this game, because even though they know it's just a bounce game, it's a charity game, I think as competitors, but also just with that personal pride, you know, the fact they still want to be able to show that they can do something.
Absolutely. And I'm sure when it was in their diaries many months ago, they pictured a beautiful sunny afternoon, day after the cup final, sunny Glasgow in the summer. Well, it's done nothing but rain this morning. It's been pretty heavy, so the ground will be very wet. There'll be a few slippages this afternoon, perhaps. Most youthful player in the Dortmund setup is Kevin Grosskreutz, who interestingly was linked with Celtic and is a self-confessed Celtic fan from a time when he and his family came to Glasgow, went to a Celtic pub, and all the people in the pub started singing his name. And he's been to Celtic Park to watch.
That must have been quite a surreal experience for them. I hope they got the pronunciation correct.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they got the spelling right if they were asked, but yeah, so Kevin Grosskreutz is a big Celtic fan. He's been here to Celtic Park to witness Celtic games.
Do you know, when I was talking to Paul Lambert during the week, you know, he's obviously managing the team. He's also made an appearance, he's on the bench for Dortmund, so I think he may be pulling on the yellow jersey. But I said to him, I think it's great that Celtic and Borussia Dortmund have that connection, you know, because Borussia Dortmund seem like just like a good club, the sort of club that you want to be associated with, in much the same way they would say the same thing about us.
Absolutely. You can see Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers and the man who overtook Billy McNeil for Celtic honours yesterday with 24 medals, James Forrest. Bobby Lennox just one ahead of James, of course, courtesy of that famous triumph in Lisbon in 1967. But a one-club man is James, and he and Brendan about to come out with the Cinch Premiership trophy and the famous Scottish Cup. And it'll be one of the biggest cheers of the afternoon, I've no doubt. James Forrest, of course, called up to the Scotland squad, so he will be heading to Germany for the Euros. First game, of course, against Germany on the 14th of June, so he's had to cancel his holiday, but absolutely delighted as James to get back into the Scotland squad. It's such a big moment for the national team. And let's listen to the reaction from the Celtic crowd. James just doing what he loves doing best, being interviewed. Well, what a Celtic legend. He is the quiet man, but he's been back to top form in the last few weeks, as James, and a player that Brendan Rodgers knows well, of course, when he came to Celtic the first time. James was perhaps on his way out of the club, but Brendan Rodgers turned James Forrest's career around and turned him into the player that, with the longevity and that he is today. Massive success for the manager, of course, and his return to the club. 2 trophies in his first season back is pretty much more than anyone could have hoped for, than anyone expected. So Brendan Rodgers, absolutely the right man to take Celtic forward into what he hopes will be a bright future, beginning next season in a revamped Champions League, of course. 8 games against 8 different top European opponents, of which Dortmund could be one of them. They, of course, are playing in the Champions League final on Saturday at Wembley. Great to see so many supporters turning out for this one to help Celtic FC Foundation. You can donate, of course, by logging on to celticfc.com/legends2024. What a lovely touch. It's Brendan Rodgers. It's a high five from all the kids in the Guard of Honour.
I mean, it is remarkable, James Forrest's total. I mean, we know it. We are watching a Celtic legend. We've been lucky enough to watch him from the day he made his debut here back in 2010. But, you know, when he was just on the pitch there and been asked, he's now the second most decorated Celt after the legendary Bobby Lennox. You know, if he's here next year, which he will be, you know, if we're successful, he could surpass that. He's got 24, Bobby Lennox has got 25, Billy McNeil in 23, and then Callum McGregor and Scott Brown in 22. And you're not going to see that very often, because there's very few players like James and Callum that stay at the same club for so long. And you know, he's maybe, I think at times maybe not as appreciated as he should be, but you know, his record speaks for itself.
And there is every chance that it might be James, it might be Callum, but you wouldn't bet against either of them at the end of their career becoming the most decorated Celt of all time. And as you say, it would be hard, the way the game is at the moment, for anyone to overtake that.
Absolutely. I mean, I still think they're the guys that, if you're a young player coming through and you're making your way in the first team, they're the guys that you aspire to be like. You can never say never, because, you know, at one point you would have looked at Bobby Lennox's total medals and Billy McNeil's and thought that's never going to be surpassed. And, you know, we've had Scott Brown that's right up there, almost at that total, and then you've got James and Callum. So at some point you will get players that will commit their entire career. We've just been lucky to have 2 of them that have been part of this unbelievable success we've enjoyed.
Bobby Lennox from Saltcoats, number 1. James Forrest from Prestwick, number 2. They do say all the best things come from Ayrshire.
I don't know who they are, but
there's Murdo MacLeod. Great to see him here today as well. Of course, legend of both Celtic and Dortmund. I remember coming to Celtic Park to watch that game where he played for Dortmund.
Well, do you know, he's one of the few players, I think, in football who goes back to his old club playing for the opposition and gets a good reception. Henrik's another one when he came back with Barcelona. And again, it's only players that have done so much for one club and then leave in the right manner, which Murdo did, which Henrik did, and come back and they're still loved. And I remember that game as well, that, you know, the Celtic fans gave him a wonderful reception.
So just waiting for the teams to come back out. As Paul said at the start, the Dortmund Legends team is, it'd be a bit strange saying this, is an actual team. Some clubs in Europe have got Legends teams that go around and they play fairly regularly. So these guys, you know, they may even have some tactics, Paul, in comparison to Celtic, which was kind of thrown together a bit last minute. I mean, the guys know each other, but this Dortmund team is a team that should be a bit more prepared, shall we say.
Yeah, as you say, they've played a few games. Paul Lambert's played in 2 or 3 games with them, so they use this Legends team obviously to promote the name of Borussia Dortmund. They've got a small band of travelling supporters, but also they use it to promote their good causes, their charitable foundation as well.
Yeah, I can't remember ever where a Celtic manager is actually a substitute for the opposition, but that is the case today as the legends of both Celtic and Dortmund come out of the tunnel. Each of these players for Celtic, of course, did this with such great success in their competitive careers. There's Georgios Samaras, Artur Boric. He'll be taking this one seriously.
I'm just wondering if Effie scores a goal, will he do his trademark somersault?
He's certainly got to try it, surely. Scott Brown leading the Celtic out. He's the captain this afternoon, the Ayr United manager. Of course, not long retired himself, so should still have a bit of fitness left in him.
I must admit, you know, when you talk about iconic football kits, and we're lucky to have one of the most iconic in world football, but I do like the Borussia Dortmund yellow jerseys, but I also think I like the way that kind of it's part of the club, it's part of the fans, that famous yellow wall that they have as well, which again, Paul Lambert was saying, if you get a chance to watch a game of football in Dortmund, go into that yellow wall because it's an unbelievable experience.
So handshakes between the two squads. Celtic.
Do you think this is the one day where you're allowed to wear a half and half scarf?
I think you can get away with it. I'm just thinking as well, this is the last time we will see this particular Celtic kit, Celtic hoops kit. It's divided opinion this year, it's probably fair to say.
It's a double winning kit.
It is indeed. It will go down in history regardless what you think of it, but there will be a new one for next season, of course, as we get ready to kick off here. No VAR, it should be said.
Thank goodness for that. Although we were saying if VAR hadn't been on play at Hampden yesterday, I wonder if Adam Vida would be flagged for offside.
Yeah, that would have been an absolute possibility. Georgios Samaras, so good, he had a day named after him. Scott Brown there. Sean Maloney shaved his head and thinking that was going to be the Bruni, but Bruni's grown the head of hair. Here comes Murdo for his own ovation.
I mean, he has shown the same incredible bravery and fighting qualities and courage that he did as a player over these last few years.
What a moment for Murdo and his family to see him back out there, looking so well. And Murdo will kick this one off. There we go. Well done. Such a well-respected figure here, and at Dortmund, still get big connections over in Germany. Travels over there as much as he can. Great man, great family, great Celtic man.
It's just a lovely way to start a game, actually. You can see the applause, not only with the Celtic support, but the Dortmund players, the Celtic players on the pitch as well, just giving them a really brilliant reception.
What an incredible turnout it is. I mean, we say it so often. We know there's 60,000 here every home game. Recently, we managed to fill the Hydro in Glasgow, 11,000 people turning out for a Player of the Year event. And today, well, the lower tier at Celtic Park fills 37,000, I think. So we're close to 30,000 people here for a Legends match, which is unbelievable. I mean, £30,000 as a 30,000 as a normal gate for most clubs in Europe would be celebrated by the club. To get it for a Legends match is just simply incredible.
Sean Maloney's certainly showing some tigerish qualities up front there.
Number 32 is Antonio da Silva. There's a couple of Brazilians in the Dortmund team this afternoon. Petric, number 10, and their chance here with David Odonkor. Petric in the middle, but it's good tracking back from Stephen McManus. Oh, Celtic Legends don't clear their lines. Effort there from da Silva from outside the box. You always expect something flashy and some brilliance from a guy who's brave enough to wear boots of the colour that Silva is. Those bright orange efforts. So too Georgios Samaras, he's the same. Samaras inside to Maloney. Scott Brown. Samaras trying to lay that one off. Gary Hooper up front for Celtic. Here's Dede. Dortmund goalkeeper this afternoon, Roman Weidenfeller. 16 years at Dortmund, a real legend of the club, as they all are, but he more so than others.
You can tell it's going to be a game where there'll be a few goals, I would reckon.
Perhaps a few penalties as well. Some late challenges. Oh, some neat play at the back there from Dortmund.
I mean, I think you mentioned beforehand, I mean, there's about 5 or 6 in this squad that got to the Champions League final back in 2013, so they were a pretty decent team back then, and I suppose the fact they've still got a team going, there'll be a sense that they certainly do keep themselves in shape.
Maloney out to Izagirre. Oh, try to play that first time low cross in towards Gary Hooper. That's a partnership we've witnessed working so well in the past, that low cross from Izagirre to Gary Hooper. Long ball forward towards Odonkor. Piszczek.
You know, often wonder, you know, if you stand out in the middle of that pitch, you get a sense of how big it is, which amazes you when 22 players can make it look so small. I wonder once you retire, you suddenly go, God, this is a really big pitch.
Yeah, I didn't quite realise just how big this was. It also makes you appreciate the kind of the abilities of players like Callum McGregor, who can seem to see everything from pitch level. Scott Brown with a late challenge there. There's Dede. Inside to Petric. Now Piszczek, Croatian, Polish rather. Dortmund playing the ball around well. Furthest player back is Mayela. Oliver Kurtz now.
I think you mentioned it ahead of the game that this is a team that is used to playing. You can just see the way that they're passing and moving, that they're so comfortable and obviously used to playing alongside each other.
Yeah, they are indeed, stroking the ball around well. Schmelzer out to Dede. Space in the middle of the park for Piszczek. Yeah, they're enjoying this big pitch. Petric finding a bit of space there on the edge of the area, but ran into Efe Ambrose, quite literally. Efe's taking a sore one to the face. Nice play there from Stan Petrov to find Lustig. Now a chance for Joe Ledley to get things moving for Celtic. Look at the space that Georgios Samaras has over the halfway line. Out to Izagirre. Hooper in the middle. He's wanting it. The ball comes across and it's a good position to take up for Marcel Schmelzer, who plays it behind for a corner to Celtic.
I always felt Gary Hooper was one of those players. I don't know if he thought he left Celtic too early, because his goal scoring record was phenomenal in the time he was here. I always wish he'd stayed longer, because he was just he was a natural born goal scorer.
He was indeed wearing that famous 88 this afternoon. Lustig. Hooper spots Maloney inside. Back to Scott Brown, looking for Georgios Samaras. I think the fans were wanting Bruni to have a shot there. Oh, Bruni does well to win the ball back. Samaras loses out inside the Dortmund penalty area. Celtic have it though. Ledley gives it to Hooper. Lustig inside to Petrov. Izagirre's on space on the left. If he can pick him out with that pass, he does. Wonderful from Petrov. Izagirre back to Samaras. Celtic now playing really well. Here's Hooper. Samaras to Hooper. Comes the cross. Oh, what a save. Still the ball's there to be won. There's Maloney with the effort. Great save from Weidenfeller. Dortmund on the break now, down the left-hand side. With Odoncourt just waiting for support.
I think Sean Maloney's maybe the smallest player on the park, but a great header there, and fair play to the Dortmund goalkeeper.
Yep, got down to his right-hand side there, like a man 20 years younger. Now here's Samaras, got one player to beat. Still Samaras. Oh, sliding tackle there from Mayela. Here's the save from earlier. Yeah, good effort from Maloney. Kicked the header down, perhaps just a bit close to the goalkeeper. Good cross from Steve McManus, the Celtic B-team coach.
He's one of those players that when you look at him, you think he just looks as if he's just finished his playing career about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, still not an ounce of fat on him. Samaras inside to Ledley. Ledley turns, sliding challenge there. Long one upfield from Weidenfeller, knocked on by Petric. Ambrose, youngest player on the pitch.
I mean, Effie was playing, I think his last game was March this year for Queen of the South, so he's still, you know, whether he's decided to hang up his boots yet or whether he'll still want to try and find another club for next season, so he's certainly still active.
Yeah, should be the fittest guy there. Long ball forward, looking for Maloney, of course. Now a highly respected coach.
He actually did well this season with, I think Wigan finished mid-table in League One, which, you know, they've had a few tough years, Wigan, but I think Sean's done really well, and certainly he'll look to build on that next year.
Dortmund on the attack. That's a lovely through ball to Odonkor, but first touch just didn't give him much of a chance with the second, and Artur Boric quickly out to gather that one. Boric with the bright orange gloves and orange boots. Oh, that's a. Oh, I thought that was an inch perfect pass there from Samaras to Hooper, but it was well cut out. 10 minutes gone in this Legends match. Still we await the first goal between Celtic and Dortmund. Don't forget to donate. That's why we're here, to raise money for Celtic FC Foundation. Go to celticfc.com/legends2024 and please donate what you can. Through ball, great positioning by Lustig this time, just holding off the attacker.
Simon and I were joking last weekend that if Celtic had got a penalty against St Mirren, would Joe Hart have gone up to take it? I wonder if we got a penalty. Artur Boric, who we know is pretty decent from the penalty spot from that shootout all those years ago at Hampden against the D United.
Absolutely, right in the postage stamp. Maloney in there conceding the free kick. Kept in by Dede. Chance for Scott Brown. A lot of yellow shirts chasing after Bruni. If he can pick out a teammate, he'll be doing well. He wins the throw in the end. Quickly taken by Lustig to Hooper. Hooper picks out McManus.
Is it stranger watching Celtic with Sean Maloney with no hair or Scott Brown with hair?
I know, it's very confusing. Petrov. Brown. Lovely pass to pick out Lustig. Oh, what a ball across. Oh, what an opening goal. Georgios Samaras with the finish. And that was a quality goal from the Celtic Legends. The pass from Scott Brown to Mikael Lustig was of the highest quality. And it was a typical Lustig delivery and a typical Samaras finish. That was like rolling back the years.
As you took the word right out of my mouth, I mean, Scott Brown's pass was fantastic, and then Mikael Lustig, the ball had to be perfect, and then Georgios Samaras. And I'm guessing when you come back here as a striker, you just want to hit the ball, the back of the net again, and he did that. The perfect striker's goal, and fans are on their feet, and as you say, rolling back the years.
You can see by his face just what it means to him. What a great goal it was. So first goal goes to Celtic.
I wonder how many times we scored a goal while Scott Brown played that precise pass to the inside right channel for Mikael Lustig, just to slot that ball across for whoever was going to be running in.
Fantastic vision from the former Celtic captain. Yeah, Maloney fighting again. Another free kick against Maloney.
He's going to get booked for persistent fouling at this rate.
There's Dede on the left for Dortmund, out to Kevin Grosskreutz. Oh, his pass is cut out by Brown. Hooper to Maloney. Oh, this is lovely. Gary Hooper's through on goal. The defenders chasing back. Hooper onto the left foot. Oh, he's just lost his balance.
Oh, you thought you'd have put money when that ball ended up in the back of the net when Gary Hooper's running through in goal. I actually thought he would have kept going and taken the shot.
Taking it on his right foot, yeah, he cut back inside. Hoping for a clearer chance at goal, but perhaps in hindsight, he could have got the shot away sooner. Celtic doing well. That's a lovely pass, though, to pick out Petric from Dede. Now, space on the right-hand side for Dortmund to perhaps get themselves back into this one. Shot comes in, well blocked by Stilian Petrov. It's the handshake there from Steve McManus. Space on the left-hand side. Decent delivery. Great defensive header from McManus. Kept in on the far side. Oh, it's a dangerous one. It was a dangerous shot that came in there. Artur Boric had to keep his eye on that one. It bounced off the greasy surface. The big man did well to make the save.
Good save.
Corner to Dortmund. In swinger on the far side, and it comes headed up and behind for another corner by McManus. Straightforward clearance that time by Joe Ledley. Only Gary Hooper up for Celtic, so Dortmund have it again. Long cross looking for Grosskreutz. Being chased by Lustig, who gets a foot in, concedes the throw.
I was talking earlier on about Gary Hooper's 82 goals in 138 games. I mean, that is a phenomenal return. That's why I always felt if he could have stayed for another couple of years, he'd have been right up there as one of our top goal scorers. Yeah, perhaps just lost that edge, as was evidenced a few minutes ago, but will always be fondly remembered by the Celtic supporters. Here's this chance earlier on that Hooper, just lost his footing when he cut inside. "17 minutes gone. Celtic Legends 1, Dortmund Legends 0. There will be a short break for fluid intakes midway through each half to allow the players to get some refreshments. It's funny how those first few minutes, and we were talking about, you know, Dortmund just passing the ball about comfortably. They were so used to playing alongside each other. Once Celtic, this team settled into the game, they've been knocking the ball about really well.
Samaras, Hooper, back to Samaras. Dortmund win it back.
The commentator's curse.
Absolutely. Brown, back to McManus. Izagiri for Celtic. Inside to Samaras, the Celtic goal scorer. Now Ledley. Ledley strides forward. Hooper goes for goal outside the area. Well, what a strike. What a strike that is from Gary Hooper. Makes up for his earlier miss. That one was a 25-yard daisy cutter, giving Weidenfeller no chance in the Dortmund goal.
The Rapid Bucharest scouts are probably just scribbling away their notes as we speak. But that, you know, he had that chance when he ran through and goal. That was a harder one, but that's actually a really good dig from outside the box. And whenever you get a player gets the ball on the edge of the box, you are just you're shouting, shoot, shoot, and Gary Hooper obliged.
Well, he may have lost the edge and pace, but he's still got that striker's instinct. As soon as he saw the space ahead of him, only one thing on his mind. He didn't score many from outside the box at Celtic, but that one was top quality from Gary Hooper. So inside 20 minutes and Celtic are 2 up. Da Silva out to Dede. Schmelzer.
That's not bad. 2 out of the 3 strikers have now scored, so just need a Sean Maloney goal, and Paul Lambert's selection will have been vindicated.
Absolutely. This is great coaching from Paul Lambert, obviously. Great team selection. Nice play from Petric. Followed by Petrov. Still Petric gets a shot away. Mladen Petric, the 43-year-old Croatian. Once again, Boric, though, positions himself well to make the save.
When you mentioned about the crowd here, about 30,000, it's a brilliant crowd. But they're also getting to see a decent game of football as well. It's not just players just on for the sake of it.
Oh, what a pass from Izagiri. Gary Hooper looking to make it 3-0. Well, if only it had been outside the box.
I tell you, he should be going home with the match ball by now.
Already. What a pass from Izagiri to pick out Hooper. They haven't forgotten about their partnership. They've just picked up where they left off.
I think for the likes of Izagiri and Samaras and these guys that maybe don't get the chance to come over to Glasgow and Celtic Park very often or at all since they've left, I think this is, you know, a special day for their families as much as for them to be back here, because this has been the highlight of their playing careers, is the time they spent at Celtic. Obviously, Izagiri still keeps well in touch with Celtic things, you know, due to Luis Palma, who I know he's in close contact with all the time.
Georgios Samaras, I certainly saw him at Hampden yesterday. I'm not sure how many others of these legends got to the cup final, but what a weekend it's been for the ones that came over for the game yesterday as well. McManus helping Petric back to his feet. Samaras up the other end. Izagiri for support. Brown to Petrov. Forced back, but picks out McManus. Nice pass out to Izagiri. The run from Ledley was a good one, but the wet surface just taking the ball away from the Welshman. We'll have a break now for a couple of minutes, but it's been a decent first 22 minutes. Dortmund started the stronger squad, looking like the team that knew each other, but Celtic getting that first goal wonderfully worked, involving Scott Brown, and Mikael Lustig finished superbly well by Georgios Samaras, and then that man there, Gary Hooper, after missing an easier chance just a couple of minutes before, then picked up a great ball in the edge of the box and fired a right foot shot from about 25 yards past Weidenfeller to make it Celtic 2, Dortmund 0.
I think you're right, Jerry. I think it's been a decent game. You know, as I said to you, the fact that people have come along here this afternoon is brilliant. You know, or whatever people are going to be watching.
Hold on a sec, Paul. Let's go trackside where Dale and Docherty is with Georgios Samaras.
Georgios, you're back in paradise, back in amongst the goals. How did it feel to be scoring at Celtic Park again?
It's great to be back. You know, see all these fans supporting us for a good purpose, for the foundation. Feeling good. Hope we keep the score and win the game. Go for a treble.
It's been a real celebration of Celtic this weekend. I see you took in the game yesterday. What did you make of it?
Yeah, great result in the end. You know, matters we're going to lift the trophy, and we did it. So happy to finish the season with a double, and I hope for more next year.
Well, good luck for the rest of the game, Georgia.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gary, you are back in the goals, a goal scorer at Celtic Park. Things just never change for you, does it?
I should have scored more though. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's nice to be back. Nice to be out on the pitch, playing in front of the fans again. It's good. And seeing the boys and scoring at Celtic Park again.
It was a really well-taken goal. Tell us about it.
Oh, the other ones, I thought about it too much. So I thought this one, just hit it and see what happens. Never score outside the box, so today it went in.
It's been a real celebration for Celtic this weekend. A double for the current side. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I saw the second half. It was a bit dodgy last 20 minutes, but we got the win. It was a good season, a double win, and we can hopefully win today.
Well, best of luck for the rest of the game and a few more goals.
Thank you.
Both goal scorers there, speaking to Dalen trackside. Georgios Samaras and Gary Hooper clearly delighted with their contribution, although Hooper still, it's always the ones they don't score that they remember, isn't it?
And he also did point out that he doesn't normally score outside the box,
yeah,
which you said actually in commentary. But I think strikers, and you know from interviewing them over the years, they remember every single goal they score. But as you say, they also remember the ones that they were either they should have scored or they were denied for other reasons.
I think we can go down and hear from the manager, get an update from Paul Lambert, who's with Dalen just in a second as we watch this Borussia Dortmund attack down the left-hand side. Grosskreutz back onto his right foot. Across comes Ledley. Petrov in with the challenge as well. The shot, what an effort that was from Petric over the bar. Let's go down and hear from the Celtic manager for today, Paul Lambert.
Paul, 2-0 up here today at Celtic Park. You're managing Celtics. It's going well, isn't it?
Yeah, this moment, yeah, it's going all right. So no, it's great to see everybody here, and it's a good cause.
I was going to say it's been a fantastic turnout here at Celtic
my goodness
Park.
me, what a goal that is from
It's been a fantastic turnout
David
at Celtic
Odoncourt.
Park. What's the message to all these supporters that came in this very special weekend for Celtic?
It's been unbelievable. It's an unbelievable season for the football club. I think it's winning the league and winning the cup yesterday. Absolute brilliant support, an absolute brilliant support.
What a strike that is from David Odoncourt. 25 yards from goal, just fired it into the back of the net, giving Artur Boric absolutely no chance with that. What a finish that was, Paul.
Yeah, I think somebody was going to have to tell Paul Lambert when he comes back out that he missed that goal. I think Celtic are going to make a couple of changes. Georgios Samaras and Sean Maloney coming off, and Simon Donnelly coming on with Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink. So a change up front, and as you say, it was an absolutely stunning goal from Odoncourt there to reduce the deficit. There's nothing that Artur Boric could have done about that.
So Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink and Simon Donnelly on for, they expect at least the rest of the first half. So 2-1 it is after Odoncourt's wonder strike. Here's Ambrose to McManus. Now Ledley back to Petrov. Donnelly does well with his first touch.
You'll just make sure that's recorded so you can play it back to him later and show that you were praising him.
Feels weird calling him Donnelly. Touch inside from Big Jan. Donnelly back to Lustig. Now Brown. Lustig again, inside to Ledley. McManus. So Jan Vennegoor of Hesseling playing through the middle now, with Hooper just behind. Here's Brown. 1-2 there with Donnelly. McManus forward, lovely pass. Hooper forward to Simon Donnelly. Lustig. Brown. Donnelly again, quickly closed down by Dede. Petric comes away with it. Oh, that's clearly offside. The flag is up on the far side. Odenkoor, the scorer, through on goal.
He's fast. But I think it was a good decision by the assistant referee.
Ambrose out to Lustig. Good take and turn there from Hooper. Donnelly out to Izagiri. Decent cross. Jan Vennegoor of Hesseling doing what we all remember him doing so well. Coming in with a header, almost finding the net with it.
That was close. That was really close. Brilliant delivery from Izagiri and Big Jan. We remember some wonderful goals he scored. Maybe a bit of a clash there, but so close. And again, I think we mentioned that these guys, when they're particularly playing up front, they want to see that ball in the back of the net one more time.
Yeah, you're right. These deliveries from Izagiri on the left-hand side have been fantastic. Ball to the edge of the penalty area, cleared away. Petrov doing well as makeshift centre back for Celtic. There, 31 minutes gone. Celtic Legends 2-1 up against their Dortmund counterparts. Little layoff there from Kirch, but Izagiri is back, ushering that one out, but it will be a corner to the German side. Two balls on the pitch, so
well played to the ball boy who threw that back on and stopped the short corner being taken quickly. I think if that had been a Glasgow derby, there'd have been protests to the SFA about that, wouldn't there be?
Yeah, they picked the wrong ball. There he is. So corner to Dortmund. High cross, cleared away by Ambrose. No one there in the hoop, so Dede switches that across. Lovely ball. Back into the danger area, headed away by Lustig, only as far as Odenkoor. Shot on the turn there, but over the bar.
You see Stille and Petrov just strolling about at the back there, just reading the game. I think everybody, every time one of these charity games happens, everybody remembers that game for him. Probably one of the most emotional occasions here at Celtic Park, and at the time he was still, you know, undergoing treatment for leukemia at the time, and really moving, and I think it's something that he's obviously never forgotten about. And you know, every time you see him, it's just like, I think, you know, it's just thankful of how well he's recovered.
Yeah, there was not an empty seat in Celtic Park that day. Dortmund have certainly been buoyed by their goal. Lustig down to Hooper. Still Hooper, back to McManus. Izagiri using the full width of Celtic Park, back to McManus. Champions League captain, of course, for Celtic, Steve McManus. Petrov. Hooper coming deep, linking well with Ambrose. Space on the right-hand side for Lustig. Very good of Hesselink is in the box. Lots of defenders back there as well. Lustig just unable to get it through the yellow wall. Here's Petrov. Now Scott Brown to Simon Donnelly. Simon Donnelly hasn't put a foot wrong since he come on. There you go, another one he can clip up.
You don't want to jinx him, but...
Petrov through to any good of Hesselink. Now McManus.
I mean, I think you mentioned that Simon might be the oldest player in the Celtic squad, but he certainly doesn't look it. He still looks like a youngster.
Yeah, I think he's a big 5-0 on his next birthday. So certainly looking well for it, is Simon. Wearing the number 13, of course. There he is. Dyed his hair grey for the occasion.
I'm clipping up that bit.
Bit of space now ahead of Izagiri. Brings it down, picks out Hooper. Brown. Out to Izagiri. Another one of these good deliveries, and it is a great delivery. Oh, Donnelly coming in.
That was his chance.
That was his chance. Shot coming in there from Joe Ledley over the bar, but Simon Donnelly, oh, he can't believe he's missed that one. It looked easier to score.
Well, you can see he knows he should have got a connection on it. It was a great ball into the box, and he timed his run perfectly, and we're just ready to wax lyrical. Oh, they have nightmares about that, Jerry.
It was a shocker of a miss from Donnelly. Just took his eye off it at the last minute. Well, you know what managers say, as long as you get yourself in those positions, the goals will eventually come.
I tell you, Scott Brown is covering every blade of this grass again this afternoon.
Look at him tracking back there. High ball into the box, out comes Boric. 9 minutes to half-time, still Celtic 2, Dortmund 1. You can donate to Celtic FC Foundation by heading to celticfc.com/legends2024. Contribute to the wonderful work that the foundation does, helping those in need around East End of Glasgow in particular. Donate what you can, every little bit helps. Given away by Donnelly. Deddy. Lots of space in the middle of the park here. Błaszczykowski, and now in it goes from Odenkirk into the side netting, and it'll be a corner. Came off McManus last.
He's looked really lively, Odenkirk, apart from the fact that he scored an absolute belter of a goal, but he's really pacey up front.
Just the 40 years of age is Odenkirk. Corner kick, low one. Away by Ledley. Now Simon Donnelly. Go break. Picks out Hooper. Looking for Izagiri, but across on that far side is Marcel Schmelzer. Back to Weidenfeller in goal.
I mean, it's incredible. We mentioned earlier on, there's quite a few of the Dortmund team that played in the Champions League final at Wembley. They're back there again next weekend. I mean, it was almost a repeat of that 2013 final. Bayern Munich probably should have got through against Real Madrid, but I'm sure a lot of these players, if not all of them, will probably be at the game next weekend. I know Paul Lambert's gone down. They'll be desperate for Dortmund to lift that trophy, which is going to be the hardest of things against the hardest of teams.
Absolutely. I think unless you're a Real Madrid fan, then you probably want Dortmund to win that one. It's one of the Champions League finals. That one back in '97 is one of those really memorable ones. The 3-1 win against Juventus. They were underdogs, and when Lars Ricken came on and scored with his first touch, it's one of those great Champions League moments. And of course, we were all delighted that Paul Lambert was involved. Here's Hooper to Izagirre. Oh, back to Donnelly. He's left it for Venegoor of Hesselink, and then what a finish it is from Gary Hooper. It's a second for Hooper, a third for Celtic, and another great team goal.
You never lose it, do you? I mean, that's, I think even, I'm not sure of whether it was the first goal he scored or the interview with Dalen, but he's just come alive since that break, and his touch, his link-up play has been magnificent, but this finish is absolutely top draw. Oof.
He just always had that eye for goal, didn't he? He had that striker's instinct, that thing that you just, you know, you can't coach, you can't teach, you're born with it. And well, the fitness might not be what it was, but he's still got that finishing touch as Gary Hooper. 2 misses, 2 goals. It's been quite a 40 minutes for Gary Hooper.
He'll not want to come off, he'll want that hat-trick.
Well, 3 players are coming off. Ambrose and McManus are 2 of them. Darren O'Dea, Charlie Mulgrew and Barry Robson are coming on. Emilio Izagirre is the last player coming off.
Will you be disappointed if Barry Robson doesn't just absolutely clatter somebody with his first challenge?
I don't think he can help it. I think that's just in his makeup.
He did say that if VAR had been about back in the day, that challenge in the first minute and Christian Daly, it would have been his last action of that game. Of course, and I think he's proud of the fact that he's one of the only player actually to score his first Celtic goal with his very first touch as a Celtic player. That's an impressive thing to boast of.
So triple change made by Paul Lambert, who at some point in this match we expect in the second half to get the Dortmund jersey on and come on for the opposition, which is all rather confusing. Donnelly, oh, lovely play. He's looking at the referee, yeah, looking for the foul, gets it.
He'll be having nightmares about that miss, I'm telling you.
He'll also be delighted that he's lasted as long as he has without pulling his calf. Paul Lambert there with his assistants Tosh McKinley and Tom Boyd. As the rain comes down quite heavily again, making the surface very slippy. In comes the cross. McManus just did enough to put the striker off.
Which, I have to be fair, that's really impressive given the fact he's sitting in the dugout.
Oh, it was a D, wasn't it? Yeah, you're right. Thanks, Paul. They come as a pair.
Well played, Dan.
Two and a half minutes, or just on over 2 minutes to half time. Celtic with a 2-goal lead here in the Legends game. On the stretch. Nice play from Scott Brown. Now Barry Robson inside to Charlie Mulgrew. Given away. Mulgrew quickly back in position to win it back for Celtic. Not quite sure what colour boots those are that Mulgrew's wearing, like an aqua green.
I mean, he's another player who's not long finished his playing career and, you know, still looks in great shape.
Yeah, he does.
Somebody clattered Barry Robson there. Maybe, I don't know if it's a distant relative of Christian Daly playing for Borussia Dortmund today.
Odenkirk, oh, decent ball in. Boric had to keep his eye on it, punched that one clear. Shot from the outside of the area there. From the substitute, Florian Kringe. Half-time whistle goes here in what has been a very entertaining first half of the Legends match between Celtic and Dortmund to raise money for Celtic FC Foundation. That man there, Gary Hooper, well, it feels as if he's never been away with his 2 finishes. Odenkirk got an absolute built-up for Dortmund after Samaras had given Celtic an early lead. These players will go in to the dressing room for a well-earned rest. And it's been good to watch, Paul.
Well, do you know, I was just thinking that sometimes, you know, with games that are, you know, friendlies, testimonials, these sort of games, you're never quite sure what you're going to get. I actually think it's been a really enjoyable 45 minutes. As, you know, Dortmund started knocking the ball about well, but actually I think the Celtic team, Scott Brown just looks as if he's just, you know, dusted himself down from a cup final yesterday. But it's been really entertaining, some really good goals as well, and you know, I'm sure the fans that are here are watching it are really enjoying what they've seen so far.
Here's the goal. Celtic got the first one through Samaras, but it was all about the vision of Scott Brown to pick out that lovely pass to Mikael Lustig. Great delivery into Samaras. Well, and that one wouldn't have been out of place at Hampden yesterday afternoon, such was the quality. So, great opening goal for Samaras that meant so much to him. You can see back on the score sheet for the Hoops. Not long after that, it was 2-0 to Celtic. Ledley striding forward, giving it to Gary Hooper, who just moments earlier had missed an easier chance as he was through on goal. But what a finish that was from Hooper. 25 yards on goal, has a look up, kept it down well, picked the spot, giving Weidenfeller absolutely no chance. And at that point, Celtic were well on top. But Dortmund got a goal back. And if you missed it the first time, it's well worth seeing again. Here's Odenkirk. Look at the turn and the shot. Reminiscent of Sean Maloney at Ibrox.
Brilliant finish. Absolutely brilliant. There was nothing after Boric could do. Oof.
So that was 2-1, and then Gary Hooper restored Celtic's 2-goal lead with this wonderful finish high into the postage stamp. Real quality goals from the Legends. The 30,000 fans inside Celtic Park have had a feast of football with 45 more minutes still to come. And we couldn't finish the first half without showing you this. Oh, Simon Donnelly. Simon Donnelly, what a chance. They don't come much easier than that for Donnelly. And he's gutted as he slaps his thigh.
Oh, he'll not thank you for that, Jerry.
I'm just jealous. I'm not out there. He's there because he's played for the club and scored. Unlucky Simon. I hope you get one in the second half. So, great first 45 minutes of football. More to come. Half-time here in the Legends match. It's Celtic 3, Dortmund 1.
can confirm that Brendan Rodgers has held initial discussions with the Scottish Premiership champions in recent days. Could he go back? More negotiations are expected to take place later on this week.
I just wonder how difficult at the time that was to see some of the things that were said, the anger that was there towards you, and also if it put you off at all coming back.
No, listen, I would understand how supporters would feel, and listen, I also know that when I was here, maybe the first time when we were doing really well, I will have had critics. I never get too emotional with words. I'm hoping that in my time here, I can have that impact that I had in my first time. I think the expectations are greater. I think the pressure is greater because of what we did the first time and probably how I left. That's why I'm here. I'm here to win, to take on that expectation and pressure because it's a club that wants to be winning.
It's Kyogo! And of course, he shoots, he scores!
Play from Young, it must be! Matt O'Reilly with the finish!
O'Reilly's header suddenly gives Kyogo a chance!
Picks out Taylor. Have Celtic!
I think that's always important for a supporter, to see the team fight. It's important to win, and once the fluency comes and the new players are adapting all the time to the league and the structure, they'll get better and better.
Oh, what a chance, what a save by Joe Hart!
But when you play and manage Celtic, it's a real test of your mental fortitude as a person. Dealing with expectation, dealing with pressure, and dealing with everything that comes with it. But we've had that a number of times this season. We haven't quite made the breakthrough after making good starts and having pressure, and then you bring anxiety into your game and not quite get the finish you want.
Whistle goes at Rugby Park, the home fans rise to their feet.
And Celtic will be feeling a whole lot worse. But then you are never far away from an unlikely story in Scottish football.
That could be a massive blow, a shake of the head from Cameron Carter-Vickers.
Round of applause for Rio Hachati, who looks absolutely distraught.
I think it's not to get entrenched with the whole storyline. The storyline can be that it can be a disaster. But for me, the storyline is always opportunity. You arrive, you stay calm, and you just look to focus on your performance.
Slipped Minor in, but he decided to go it alone. Derby Day is Kyogo Day.
Everything's in our hands to achieve what it is we want to achieve.
It's Antamina again.
There's a story already written about this team, but I always say we get the chance to write our own story. And the story of these guys is that they are the champions, and they're that for a reason.
Dyson Minor in the opening seconds.
Adam Ida goes for goal and he scores!
So, for those that have been with me and always with me, let's enjoy the journey. For those I need to convince, I'll see you here in May. This is where Celtic comes alive. This is where we come alive as a club and as a team. This is the part of the season I'm very excited about.
This time, Matt O'Reilly finds the back of the net. Kept in by Dyson Maeda. Cut back is great. It's an own goal. And Celtic have got a second with only 6 points left to play for. That will surely mean the title remaining at Celtic Park.
You want excitement, you want the dreams, is what being a supporter is all about. From a football perspective, it's about finding the calmness.
Right foot, lovely, and Adam Ida from inside the 6-yard box. And that's it, confirmed now. Celtic are over the line in some style. It will be party time. It will be trophy day on Saturday when St Mirren come to Celtic Park.
When you manage Celtic or play for Celtic or work for Celtic, we actually lived for you. The honesty of this group, how when everyone was writing them off from August, they've kept working, they kept honest to the game and to the club, and obviously tonight they get the reward. And for the players, a massive, massive thank you.
You have to come in here and perform with humility. This is a club that demands that you obviously play with expectation, with pressure, if you want to become a winner.
At the end of the storm, there's a golden sky. Celtic are champions of Scotland again.
Goes for goal! Unbelievable scenes here at Celtic Park. Celtic's top scorer of the season has found the back of the net. Celtic have done it. Celtic are the champions.
No words. It's a new feeling. I'm really, 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 really happy. Proud. I'm so proud as well. And I'm just proud for the players, for the club, for Celtic fans, for the staff. We've done an amazing job with the staff. The players have been doing it amazing, so I'm just proud. I just don't have the words. You know, the club means everything to me, and all I've ever wanted to do is do that. You know, we've obviously lifted the cups, which is a buzz, but you know, the league's the big one, the one that we'd never done before still, and to do it here in front of fans at Celtic Park the day after the guys did it, it's genuinely the stuff the dreams are made of.
Well done to the men's and the women's team, winning their titles. Of course, the men picking up the Scottish Cup as well yesterday. Great to see the fans mixing here for the Legends game. Just to repeat, around 30,000 Celtic supporters and Dortmund fans inside Celtic Park for this Legends game in the rain, but they've been rewarded by a great first 45 minutes of football. We're here to raise money though as much as we can for Celtic FC Foundation and the great causes that they support. Go to celticfc.com/legends2024 where you can donate. Scott Brown leads his team of legends back onto the pitch. Simon Donnelly will be hoping to make amends for that miss in the first half and get himself on the score sheet. I'm sure he can. I'm sure he's been in that half-time dressing room giving himself a good talking to and maybe doing some visualisation of how his goal in the second half is going to come. Focused is one word to describe Simon Donnelly. And there's Scott Brown, who's just strolled through this one. At this rate, he'll only need a shower because of the rain. And that man there, another one that's strolled through it. Great legend of the hoops, Stilian Petrov. So, just waiting on the Dortmund side to come back out. Here they come. Paul Lambert, the Celtic manager, in the Dortmund kit, coming back out to play for the opposition.
I think he was meant to only play the last 20 minutes, but obviously they've called for reinforcements early now because they're losing by 3-1.
Well, he now becomes the answer to a quiz question. Which Celtic manager turned out for the opposition in a match at Celtic Park?
I mean, we spoke about in the first half about quite a few of this Dortmund team that had been Champions League runners-up. We can now talk about a guy who won the Champions League with Dortmund in 1997 and established himself. I mean, he wasn't there for very long, but, you know, as a legend of the club for what they did that season and, you know, getting to the final and beating Juventus. They also beat, I think they beat Manchester United along the way. And Paul Lambert played an integral part in that, the success that season.
So Paul Lambert gets a big cheer from the Celtic crowd. He comes on to replace Antonio da Silva. First touch for Lambert. Plays it straight out of play. Well, not kept in. Nice touch forward there from Petric. Now here's Odoncourt. Oh, lovely pass in. Good defending from Scott Brown and away by Mulgrew. Up towards Hooper. He's on a hat-trick. He'll be desperate for that match ball. Simon Donnelly desperate for another chance in front of goal. They link up well. Brown now in support, being tracked by Petric. Just brushes off the challenge. Still Brown. Still Brown. The lovely back heel to Jan Vennegoor of Hesseling. And now a real chance. Oh, what an effort that was. Wonderful curling shots from Simon Donnelly. And only the hands of Weidenfeller keeps Donnelly away from putting the finishing touch to a fantastic move.
Oh, what a goal that would have been. I mean, Scott Brown just brushing off some opponents and then just that cheeky back heel. Simon cuts onto his right foot, and when he curled it in, you're thinking that's ending up in the back of the net. Goalkeeper produces a wonderful save to deny him, but again, brilliant start, and the fans on their feet again.
Yeah, great instincts again by Donnelly to take that one inside the defender. Unlucky with the finish. He did a great save. Oh, with a corner there from Mulgrew, right under the goalkeeper. Free kick to Dortmund inside their own box.
That'd have been some goal. A wonderful delivery from Charlie there. Barry Robson, I don't think, shrugged off that knock he took in the first half. He's just limping off to the side there.
Yeah, Izagiri coming back on, as you can understand. It's rolling subs this afternoon, so we may see Barry Robson again at some point, but shake of the head from Robson. He goes off with a knock, and on comes Izagiri again. Heavy rain now.
I think we've seen some great goals this afternoon, but I think if that one had got in, that would have been the pick of the bunch for me.
Yeah, and Simon would never have mentioned it again.
Listen, he would have been entitled to talk about it all the time.
Schmelzer. Back to Mayela. Loose pass there, picked up well by Venegoor of Hesselink. Now Lustig for Celtic. Petrov, OD. Petrov picks out Ledley. Lovely play from Ledley now. Space for Scott Brown. Hooper turns. Venegoor of Hesselink. Dortmund win it back though. Dortmund work it out to the left-hand side. Dede. In comes the delivery. Petric with the header. OD with him. Just did enough to put him off.
Scott Brown is absolutely loving being out there. He's absolutely just dictating this whole game.
Petrov. Brown. First time pass to Venegoor of Hesselink. Scott Brown again. Now Mulgrew. Zagiri. Back to Brown. Lovely ball across to the far side. Lustig coming in. Chance for Ledley. Hooper, Donnelly. Well, pass, stroke, shot there from Mikael Lustig, but again, some really nice passing play from Celtic.
You can still see the Scott Brown in the midfield there, just shouting instructions to everybody, and as I say, he's absolutely running the show. But the Celtic players are knocking the ball about really well, and we said at the end of the first half, the football's been really entertaining, and it's continued at the start of the second half.
Yeah, Brown and Ledley combining well in the middle of the park. There's Piszczek. Inside to Paul Lambert. Donnelly comes back to help out his defence. Ooh, sliding tackle there from Charlie Mulgrew. Took no prisoners there on Schmelzer. Hand of apology.
Normally in these games you only get a bad tackle if Bobo's playing, but Charlie just a tiny wee bit late with that one.
Ball played through. Izagiri. Caught in possession. Lambert. Oh, tried to take on Izagiri. Well, fair play to Paul Lambert for attempting it.
This is only an audio podcast, but I have to tell people that are a broadcast. You've got your glasses on.
I know, it's terrible, isn't it? It was the 4. It was, of course, Odenkirk, the scorer. I did wonder when he...
I don't think Paul Lambert was
took that ball past him. I know, he's never going to take him on. Here's that.
Or be that far up the park.
Gary Hooper for Celtic. It's been a long season. Here's Mulgrew, plays that into Hooper. I did think I was going to struggle with the Dortmund players, but I never thought that the one player I'd struggle with would be Paul Lambert.
At least you get the pronunciation right.
Scott Brown picks out Joe Ledley. Hooper just getting in his way.
I can see Michael McGovern down the touchline, substitute goalkeeper. Yeah. So I think at some point Arthur will be coming off, and we're sure he'll get the warmest of receptions.
Yeah, Celtic about to make a change in goal. Michael McGovern, he was on loan at Livingston last year, wasn't he?
Yep.
Błaszczykowski, nice ball inside, good link-up play, chance now for Dortmund, sliding challenge comes in from Mulgrew, and Celtic managed to clear it away, now picked up by Hooper, nice first touch to Simon Donnelly, inside to Scott Brown, lots of space for Scott Brown, outside of the foot pass to Mikael Lustig, back to Brown. This time out to Izagiri. Lots of time to pick out the cross away by Owomayela. And as far as Hooper, now Ledley.
I'm sure Gary Hooper would just love one more chance just to get that hat-trick.
Oh, Odoncourt gets the turn on Mulgrew. Oh, he's going to get a yellow card here. There's Charlie Mulgrew. Booked in a charity game. And that change can now be made. Artur Boric is coming off to be replaced by Michael McGovern in goal. Nothing he could do about the Dortmund goal. He could have had both goalkeepers in, he would still have scored. Great reception from these Celtic supporters who loved watching Artur Boric in his prime. He was a character, but what a goalkeeper he was.
He was great. He's probably in a long line of, we've been really lucky, I think, in recent years with the goalkeepers that we've had. Arthur, Fraser Foster, Craig Gordon, or obviously Joe Hart as well. So yeah, Arthur's still a big favourite. I don't think Charlie's ever going to live down the fact he's just picked up a yellow card in a charity game, and he's not been on for that long.
Samaras coming back on for Simon Donnelly. Well done, Sid, you've done well. Almost scored the goal of the game, did Simon. Off he goes to be replaced by the man who scored the opener, Samaras. Dortmund have made a change as well. Miroslav Stevic coming on for just checking my notes, it was Błaszczykowski that went off for Stevic for Dortmund.
I think he might be the oldest player on the pitch. I think 54 he is.
Yeah.
Do you know, I actually had to check beforehand because he was with Partizan Belgrade, but I think he left just before they came here and played us in '89, which shows you how long his career's lasted. But
well, played in the World Cup for Yugoslavia back in '98 as well. 54 years old. Same age as Paul Lambert. Well, that's lovely play from Hooper. Lustig, Samaras linking well with Jan Venegoor of Hesselink. Mulgrew needs to be careful, he's already got a booking. Samaras, Jan Venegoor of Hesselink. What a glancing header, but the flag is up on the far side. It will not count. Boos ring out around Celtic Park. A smile on the face of the assistant on that far side, Graham McNeely. Oh, he's onside. He's onside, Graham. You've got that wrong, son.
Great finish as well. I mean, it was a brilliant ball in from Samaras, but the glancing header, there was nothing the goalkeeper could have done. Why didn't we have VAR today, Jerry?
I mean, I know he's there to do a job, but it was, you know, he was onside, so even in his viewpoint, it must have been tight. So why not just give it? Don't answer that. Here's Mulgrew. Yeah, it was a great finish from Then a good of Hesselink, but poor officiating. Ball through to Brown from Hooper, but Dortmund have it. Petric does well. And Stevic. Odenkirk. Piszczek back to Stevic. Brown now for Celtic, picks up Izagirre, first time pass to Samaras. Leaves that one for Hooper. Back to Samaras. Push to the ground. Throw goes the way of Celtic. Close to the hour mark as Dortmund make another change. Da Silva coming back on, this time for Omayela. Brown.
Big Jan will be gutted that that flag denied him his goal at Celtic Park.
Yeah, harsh decision from the assistant. Izagirre to Samaras, back to Izagirre. Samaras again. Lambert to Da Silva. Nice pick out there for Petric. Odenkirk through on goal. Can he get a second? Just ran a bit too wide. He's going to get another chance, is he? No. Good defensive cover from Stilian Petrov. Nice play down the right-hand side here by Piszczek. Evades the challenge of Samaras. Odenkirk. Piszczek still there in space. Goes for that near post shot. Decent save. Down to his left-hand side from McGovern.
Odenkirk's looked really... We said it in the first half, he obviously scored that great goal, but he's another player that looks as if he's enjoying being out there, and plenty of running.
Yeah, he's played the full 61.5 minutes as well.
Oh, what a
ball. It's a ball through the middle. It's a great ball. It's a great chance, and he's hit the side netting. What a chance that was. Grosskreutz would have loved to have scored at Celtic Park, and he won't get a better chance than that.
The ball through to carve open the Celtic defence was wonderful, and he did the hard thing. Oh, he'll be gutted. Well, you can see him and Simon Donnelly can swap stories about missed chances after the game.
Grew inside to Petrov. Now, Lustig. Brown to Mulgrew. It's got Izagirre. Nice left touch line. Samaras, lovely turn from Samaras. Oh, I just couldn't find the teammate with the pass. It was Ledley that was through the middle.
I thought he was going on a mazy run himself and just going to finish it. It was a really nice turn. But he's got his goal, so he'll be happy this afternoon.
Oh, what a ball from Izagirre. Then a good of Hesselink coming in on it, but couldn't make contact. Lovely delivery from the Honduran. Celtic still have it though. Petrov in the middle of the park is Brown. Now Samaras. Petric's just catching him in possession from behind, and now he's Odenkor just can't keep that one in play.
He's running after that thinking 10 years ago. 10 years ago I would definitely have caught it.
Brown to Izagiri. Ledley. Petrov. Forward to Vennegoor of Hesselink. Back to Brown. Petrov. Space again for Brown. Just showed a little bit too much of that one to Kringe, but Celtic win it back. Here's Ledley. Samaras now playing left wing up. Petrov fancies one from distance. Oh, chance here perhaps for a hat-trick for Hooper. Oh, what a save. What a save that was from Weidenfeller. Once again, preventing Celtic from extending the lead. Hooper's taking a sore one there. There's a Dortmund player down in the centre circle as well. This game's turning nasty.
I mean, that's another great save from the goalkeeper to deny Gary Hooper his hat-trick. He's in a wee bit of pain. Thankfully he's back on his feet. There was a challenge in the middle of the park as well on a Dortmund player. Thankfully he's up on his feet as well. I thought when he turned there, Gary Hooper was just going to shoot, but
Stevic. Back to Piszczek. Switches that one across to the left-hand side, but Lustig's there for Celtic. Da Silva picks up for Dortmund. Inside him is Paul Lambert. Now Dede. Cross is defended well by Petrov, and now Celtic can come away. Brown to Vennegoor of Hesselink. Brown wants it back. Well, he breaks through the defence, cynically brought down.
we weren't really sure at first if it was a foul or he was going to get the foul, but it was definitely an infringement there.
Błaszczykowski about to come back on for Dortmund.
He would have played a fair few games with Artur Boric in the Polish national side.
Petric's the player going off as the players stop to get some refreshments midway through the second half. It remains Celtic Legends 3, Dortmund Legends 1.
I mean, it's actually Weidenfeller who's kept the score at 3-1. He's denied Gary Hooper, denied Simon Donnelly as well, so he's had a decent second half, especially the Dortmund goalkeeper.
No, I think we can go down trackside and hear from Simon Donnelly, who's with Dalen.
Simon, you're very close to a goal. How does it feel to be playing back at Celtic Park?
It's great to be back. Great to be back, Dylan. Obviously the pitch is very big out there now for my old limbs. Easier commentating for Celtic TV. I'm sure Paul and Jerry are slaughtering me up there, but great to be back. Fantastic day for the boys. girls out here at Celtic Park after yesterday, and a fantastic double for the club.
I was going to say it's an excellent turnout for the Celtic FC Foundation. What's the message to the supporters who have came and celebrating this weekend of Celtic Football Club?
They never cease to amaze us. They turn up everywhere, all over the world. These Celtic supporters are amazing. But to come out and support the foundation today for really good causes as well, on the back of yesterday, winning another double, it's fantastic to see everybody here.
And what about the game? It's been a fantastic game of football, hasn't it?
Some decent football out there. Some boys can still play. Gary Hooper's looking for a hat-trick. But as I say, just great to be back out there. As I said, a wee bit disappointed the legs aren't as quick as they used to be.
Well, thanks very much, Simon.
Cheers. Cheers.
Well done, Simon. Great performance, and yeah, he will. He'll be interested to listen back on commentary. I think he knows what's coming his way, but fair play to Simon. Great opportunity in the first half, but did so well with that turn and finish. Oh, Dalen's down there with Artur Boric.
Artur Boric back at Celtic Park, making some fantastic saves. How does it feel to be back in front of the Celtic fans?
It's absolutely amazing. Every single time coming back here, I feel great, you know. Feel part of this, and yeah, I'm hoping like I'm going to come back here quite often.
How special a football club is this to you, Artur?
Sorry, say again.
How special a football club is this to you, Artur?
How special football is in here? It was always special. It's going to be special for me. Coming back here, you know, all the memories coming back. So yeah, let's enjoy the time.
Thanks for joining us, Artur.
Thank you. Thank you.
Artur Boric there with Dalen. Getting a big ovation from the fans. So 20 minutes to go. Celtic 3, Dortmund 1. You can donate to Celtic FC Foundation by logging on to celticfc.com/legends 2024. Scott Brown has it for Celtic. Well, tiredness may creep into some of these legs, and I don't think Scott Brown's going to be in that list, so he may have an impact in the last 20 minutes. Here's Mulgrew out to Izagirre. Samaras now. Hooper. Back to Mulgrew. Petrov now. Ledley failed to pick out Hooper. Celtic win it back though on the edge of the area. Scott Brown taking it round the right hand side, followed by Da Silva, and it's gone out for the Celtic throw.
We really need to get Gary Hooper his hat-trick now, I think, in these last 20 minutes or so.
Hooper trying to flick that one forward to Vennegood of Hesselink. Dortmund now on the counter-attack with Odenkirk waiting for support, provided by Stevic. Not a bad effort for the 54-year-old.
Decent, actually. It was the right idea. I'm impressed, you know, the likes of him and Paul Lambert still not just been out on the park, but actually, you know, making a decent contribution as well. It just shows you how well that, you know, players like that have just looked after themselves even after they've retired.
Yeah, Lambert's been out there for a good 27 minutes or so on that big pitch. Nice crossfield ball from Mulgrew to Vennegood of Hesselink. Now Lustig. Petrov. Mulgrew. Brown. First time ball by Samaras. Expecting the run from either Hooper or Vennegood of Hesselink. Didn't come his way. Here's Lambert. Stevic. Back to Lambert. Tried to pick out Dede in the left wing, but Celtic come away with it. Brown. Now Lustig.
Is that not one of the great things about a game like this, that you can see Paul Lambert moving up to challenge Scott Brown? You've got two of the great midfielders that we've seen over the last 25, 30 years, obviously in different sides, but both on the same pitch.
Błaszczykowski out to Stevic. Open by Darren O'Dea. In comes Scott Brown to win it back. Forward by Izagiri. Now Samaras. Well, in days gone by, he would just have ran into that space ahead of him, but not got the legs now. Brown. Just over 15 minutes left. Celtic 3, Dortmund 1. Mikael Lustig picks out Joe Ledley.
You can definitely tell the pace, you touched on it, you know, maybe players will get tired. The pace has definitely dropped even in this game.
Well, space now for Samaras to run into if he's got the energy. Back onto his right foot. Back to Ledley. Izagiri now. Petrov, Ledley. Hooper, Ledley. Chance now, Samaras.
Surely a penalty.
Yeah. Referee right up with play. He was right there. Well, let's watch this again. Ledley goes in. Sandwiched by the two Dortmund players.
Joe Ledley certainly thought he was brought down there.
Nice ball forward. Charlie Mulgrew coming back. Great. Brilliantly timed tackle from Mulgrew.
What would the referee have done then if he'd missed time?
Exactly.
He would have had to send him off. That was a great tackle actually from Charlie.
No, going by his earlier yellow card and his refusal to grant that penalty, I think he would have been in no hesitation to send Charlie Mulgrew off had he not made the perfect timing with that tackle.
Honestly, still in his stroll through this game this afternoon. Just that, it's just the way these players just give themselves that couple of seconds on the ball. They don't rush it. I mean, he maybe doesn't have the legs, but he's just got that football brain, isn't he?
Here he is again. Stan Petrov. Arrived at Celtic as a fresh-faced 19-year-old. What an impression he made instantly. Ledley. Long ball from Ledley. Hooper left that one. Lustig. Now he's looking for support. Back to Hooper. Izagiri. Oh, just too heavy, the pass from Hooper. Well, I'm rather surprised that Hooper went with the pass, considering he's on a hat-trick.
Yeah. I thought there was only going to be one outcome of that, and it was going to be a Gary Hooper shot.
McManus and Ambrose coming back on for the final few minutes of the game. Joe Ledley coming off. And also being replaced. Well, fourth official, I think, is mixing up these numbers. I think he's had Ledley off twice. Samaras it is. Coming off for Efe Ambrose.
I think Gary Hooper would have been gutted if he had been taken off with, what, about 10 minutes to go. But there's a few of the players I think have lasted really well, and you know, are still get a bit running. I noticed Stilian Petrov has been pushed into midfield now, back into his traditional position.
First time pass from Eddie, trying to pick out Grosskreutz. Celtic with the throw as we hit the 88-minute mark. CelticFC.com/Legends 2024 is where to go to donate to Celtic FC Foundation. Please give what you can and support the foundation and its great work, supporting local charitable causes in Glasgow's East End and beyond. Stevic. Tackle from Ambrose. Celtic come away with it now. Scott Brown has got Hooper ahead of him. Waits for support. Petrov. Now Hooper inside to Charlie Mulgrew. Through the middle, looking for the run of Hooper. Mulgrew will win it back.
Oh,
goodness me, referee, come on.
He's got a bit of a roving commission now, Charlie, isn't he? He's here, there and everywhere. That was never a foul.
I mean, they both went for it. Grosskreutz didn't even claim for it. He wasn't fouled, he wasn't in any pain. Grant Irvin, the referee, this afternoon, trying to spoil the fun. Izagiri pushed to the ground by Błaszczykowski. McManus forward to Petrov, left that one. Almost got the return from very good of Hesselink. Dortmund win it back. Woodoncourt. Back to Stevic. Out to Dede. Good cross, the volley there from Piszczek.
Good block from Darren, actually. He did well just to get his body in front of that. Because I think that would have been on target.
Gary Hooper getting the man of the match. Da Silva. Brown back there to intercept. Dortmund win it back though. Piszczek runs into O'D. Chance perhaps. McManus taking no chances. Puts that one behind for a Dortmund corner.
Linesman had his flag up for offside, I'm sure.
Stevic, Da Silva thought about the volley there, but then thought twice. Celtic have it. Hooper back to Ambrose. Offside. Audon Court. Good play from Piszczek, steps inside Brown. Stevic. Audon Court inside to Da Silva. Back to Stevic. Trying to switch that one across. Lambert's there for Dortmund. Lambert on the overlap on the outside. Decent ball in, great chance, good save. Second attempt there from Błaszczykowski. And Dortmund have a second goal. And inside the final 5 minutes, it's Celtic Legends 3, Dortmund Legends 2.
Michael McGovern did well, actually. It was a great save, but I was just about to say what you give for a Paul Lambert goal, but no, it was a good finish in the end, but Michael McGovern was really unlucky.
Yeah, just unlucky to parry the ball back into the path of Błaszczykowski. Part of that 2013 Champions League final team under Jurgen Klopp.
It'd be quite funny, actually, if we're winning 3-2 and the referee adds in 10 minutes added time.
I don't think that's in the contract. I think he's got to blow straight on 90. Fair play to Paul Lambert. Look at him tracking back there.
I mean, that's the second half he's played, and he's not looked out of place. I always remember at the time when he joined, obviously he's a Champions League winner, you're getting a world-class midfielder, and over those next 8 years or so at Celtic, what a player he was for us. That goal he scored in the derby in the 97-98 season.
No, Lambert dispossessed. Oh, it must be Charlie Mulgrew on hand to get a fourth goal for the Hoops.
Well, he couldn't fail to score, but he certainly enjoyed that as well. And
commentators curse again on Paul Lambert, just brushed off there by Hooper.
2 goals and an assist, that's not bad for Gary Hooper's work, but good for Charlie to get on the score sheet as well. Well, the keeper got a touch to it, but just kind of pushed it into Charlie's path. Yeah, a yellow card and a goal for Charlie.
Good afternoon's work for Charlie, he enjoyed that. So just a couple of minutes left on this one. Last time to remind you to donate to Celtic FC Foundation at celticfc.com/legends2024. Here's De Silva to Stevic. Block there from McManus. Dortmund still have it though. Cross in from Deddy, away by McManus. Oh, Charlie Mulgrew on a yellow card into the back of Stevic there. Yeah, I think he was a bit concerned there, the hand of apology instantly.
Kicking an old man when he's down.
Yeah.
Charlie's chasing a second yellow now.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, I think that should have been a red card. De Silva, he's going for it. Into the final seconds of what has been a very entertaining Legends match, especially the first half. Some lovely football. De Silva challenged by Izagirre. Referee puts the whistle to the mouth and blows for full time. A wonderful attendance for a great afternoon for a worthy cause. 30,000 Celtic supporters turned out to support Celtic FC Foundation by buying a ticket for the Celtic Legends against Dortmund Legends, and the players themselves have put on a real treat with that 6-goal thriller.
You could just see Stevic just having a couple of words, showing Charlie his more wins from where Charlie challenged him. But we said at the end of the first half, Jerry, and I think it's the same at the end of the second half, it's been a really entertaining afternoon of football. You know, I think both of these sets of players have, you know, taken the game seriously. They've both wanted to win, and we've seen some great goals, and a nice, I think, when some of these players come back, just a nice wee trip down memory lane.
It is indeed. Great to see some of the old boys, if we can call them that, last the pace. Paul Lambert, the whole second half there for Dortmund. Stan Petrov strolling through that one. At the age of 44, Scott Brown looking as if he can still play. And a great afternoon for all, but that man there grabbing 2 first half goals, grabbing the man of the match as well.
I think it's worth saying again, we said it early in the game, just for Borussia Dortmund, we wish them the best of luck at Wembley next Saturday afternoon.
And I think Dalen is down there with another old boy, Tom Boyd.
Tom, what an afternoon it's been for Celtic, a 4-2 victory here in Paradise. But what about the turnout from the Celtic supporters here, giving their great cause and support to the Celtic FC Foundation?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I'd like to thank everybody who's come here with hangovers after yesterday's magnificent victory. So it shows you what we have got as a support. We want to support the foundation, we want to show how our club was started and get back to our roots. And to have 30,000, over 30,000 people in this stadium, absolutely magnificent. Thank you very much for turning up.
Yeah, well said, Tom. And what about the game of football today? It was a really good game of football here in Paradise.
It's one of the best charity games I've seen played. There was certainly a lot of people up for it today. And I'd like to thank Paul for sealing that victory for us, for going over to Dortmund and playing with Celtic and giving the ball to Rupert. So, yeah, and that's a wonderful game. Both sides were certainly going for it. Delighted we got the victory.
Well, thank you for joining us, Tom. Tom Boyd.
Thank you very much. Hail, hail!
Charlie, a goal this afternoon to seal the victory Celtic. How does it feel to be back playing on the pitch here at Paradise?
What a feeling, man. He scored the best goal of the day. Is unbelievable. That was an easy finish. Delighted to be here. Absolute pleasure to play in front of the fans again. I feel honoured and humbled and thankful for your support. And it means so much to me and my family. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well said, Charlie. It's been a fantastic weekend for Celtic. I'm so good to come into the game yesterday. What do you say to these Celtic supporters in the Celtic Park coming out and supporting us cause today?
Amazing. I mean, it was never in doubt yesterday, was it? What a feeling, what a way to win a final. Credit to the team and the manager. I've shown a lot of resilience and yeah, it's a proud to watch them. What a feeling at the end. Amazing.
I've got to ask you, how did it feel to be back on the pitch with the pal Scott Brown?
Brilliant, amazing. Still put a lot of my play, so pleasure to play with him, what a player, and that's a pleasure.
Thanks for doing this, Charlie. Tell them what you're doing.
Thank you.
Charlie Mulgrew there. Got a goal, did Charlie? Got the fourth goal. As the players go round and show their appreciation to the thousands of Celtic supporters who bought tickets for this one. They came out in the rain. It's not been pleasant weather today. We had the sunshine yesterday at Hampden, and it's been the other side of the Glasgow summer weather, I'm afraid, today, but it hasn't dampened the spirits around Celtic Park as they raise money and awareness for Celtic FC Foundation. Good game of football as well. Good game of football. It was a good first half. Celtic going in at half-time ahead. The second half perhaps didn't have the pace and energy of the first half.
It could have been even more goals, Jerry, actually. I mean, Simon had a great chance as well, Gary Hooper. And we did see another couple of goals anyway. But yeah, as I say, I think everybody had a great afternoon here.
Yeah, that was Błaszczykowski bringing it back to 3-2 in the second half. First half goals for Samaras and 2 for Hooper. Hooper then brushed aside Paul Lambert and assisted Charlie Mulgrew. And despite the fact that it was an easy tap-in, he still celebrated that one as if it was a 30-yard pile driver. Charlie Mulgrew, absolutely honoured to be here and to be on the score sheet for Celtic. Scott Brown ran the middle of the park, as he so often did, with no little skill either. Look at that back heel from Bruni that led to a wonderful chance and effort from Simon Donnelly, and I'm sure when he hit that one, Simon thought that one was going in the back of the net, but for some great goalkeeping. Who knew Scott Brown had that level of skill? Celtic dominated. Should have been another one. That header there from Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink was disallowed for offside, but you can clearly see from the replay that he was actually onside. And a lovely pass there for Grosskreutz, who should have done better with the finish there into the side netting for Dortmund. Let's go down trackside. Dalen is with Scott Brown.
Scott Brown, back in Paradise. What a performance, 90 minutes. How do you feel?
I'll feel that tomorrow, that's for sure. But no, it's fantastic to be back and to see the fans as well. And I never got to say a proper farewell, so that was amazing. Thank you very much for your support for the whole 14 years of my career and today as well.
I was going to say, you left Celtic during COVID, you never really got your farewell. Today you played in front of the fans. How did that feel to get on the pitch and be in front of the supporters, Scott?
That was amazing. And as I came in, I love playing football. I played in front of 60,000 and I love seeing these fans as well. And much appreciated again for all the support. And the football was a little bit slower than you're used to, but the lads worked hard and enjoyed themselves.
And I've got to say, you know, it was an excellent performance from you. You looked like you were rolling back the years.
Yeah, I'm rolling back the years, yeah. I'm going to feel it tomorrow, that's for sure. But no, it was enjoyable getting on the party. To see the lads again as well. We've not seen a lot of them for many years as well. So to get back in the dressing room and to be part of our Celtic team is brilliant.
And of course, just to touch on the Celtic fans again, Scott, a fantastic turnout, great cause supporting the Celtic FC Foundation, and it's a cause that's really close to your heart as well.
Yeah, excellent support, especially after yesterday. I'm sure there's a few hungover faces out there as well, but yeah, again, well done to Brendan and the lads, and hopefully continue next season too.
Well, thanks very much, Bruni. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well played, Scott Brown, as he goes back up the tunnel after a typical Scott Brown midfield performance. Great afternoon for a great cause. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll let the players go off to get a well-earned rest. Thanks for your company. It finishes here in the Legends match. Celtic 4, Dortmund 2.